It's 2023 going into 2024. I just came back from the store. I just happened to run into somebody that I used to date some years back. And she was glad to see me, but I seen her more times than she seen me on the Coda bus. But when I saw her, it was like memories from the past, and she still got love for me. She's not no beauty queen. She's not the one that everybody chases after. This video is called Pretty Girls versus Not So Pretty Girls. And what I mean by that is pretty girls get all the attention. The gorgeous women get all the attention. They get any choice of a man they can have, whether he's light skin, dark skin, white, black, Asian, Indian, Spanish, or any other culture, height, weight, whatever, rich or poor. So they're going to always stand out among all other women. But the difference is with a not so pretty girl that's considered to the world not attractive and, quote, ugly to some. I found through my experiences dating all types of women, different weights, different heights, different shades of color, ethnicities, women of different religions, different walks of life. Bow-legged, pigeon-toed, slewfoot. I've dated women in wheelchairs. I don't discriminate. You know why? Really the main reason why? Most of the women that I date and have dated and will continue to date in the future is the ones that got the good hearts, the pure hearts, the beautiful hearts, the humble hearts, the women that are the good girls. What I mean by that, they're going to be with you and stick by you for better, for worse. Like I say in marriage vows. But most of the time, these are the average women, the mediocre type women of all cultures, and the women that aren't considered very attractive because of the world's standards and of other people's opinions. Just because they're not attractive and gorgeous and got an hourglass shape and, they thick and busty and, they're the envy and lust of every man that they encounter. See, the women like the ones I just mentioned, the not so pretty girls, they're the ones that have the best hearts. They're the ones that will do almost anything for you in the name of friendship and love. Because they're humble. They know when they look in the mirror they're not attractive as some pretty girl down the street or around the corner or at the store or at the club or even in church. But one thing they have more than the pretty girls or the gorgeous women, most of them, there are some pretty women and gorgeous women that have beautiful hearts also. They're humble because they have humble beginnings, growing up in church, hanging out with the right type of people, not hanging around them knuckleheads. And some even come from the streets, but their heart is good. But that's very few and none. Because the majority of pretty women, gorgeous women, they walk with their nose stuck up in the air. They're a snob. They think because they look good, that's going to carry them far. It will for a while until something happens to them where it disfigures their face or their body. Then it's another different story. Because at one time, and there's still women like that to this day that are arrogant. Arrogant is I don't want to know what. Stuck up, thinking they all that, and think they ain't gonna never not have a man, and think their looks is gonna be there forever. That's a lie, because I went to school with a lot of them that look just like what I just mentioned. They look like they stepped out of a beauty pageant, a lot of them. I've dated women in beauty pageants before. They look like they're a centerfold for a magazine, a top brand magazine. Especially when they're younger. They got all the guys chasing, even me. But I found out through experiences with women like that. I ain't saying every single one of them's like that, but I'm saying a good majority of them are. I'll say about 85% are like that. Maybe 90%. But the smaller few that can't compete with that kind of look, they outweigh the pretty girls when it comes to a beautiful heart. Because they know they can't win in that category. I mean, they could dress nice. I've seen not so pretty women dress real nice, and they got beautiful shapes. You know what I'm saying? And what makes them even more attractive, at least to me, especially when I talk to them, get to know them better, they're down to earth. They're pure, beautiful, down to earth women. Blackwater form women of all cultures, of any country on this planet, and from the United States. Those are the kind of women I like. I ain't saying that I'm looking for a not so pretty girl that is not attractive, because there are some not so pretty women that are very attractive. And what makes them attractive is what's in their heart. And see, a lot of us overlook that. We're looking at other things. We're looking at sex. Well, she ugly, so I just want her for sex. Yeah, well, I thought that too. And I've been there. That's why I can speak on it. But then I found out later, they were the most beautiful women I ever met. And I regretted just wanting to be with them for sex. I mean, they wanted sex from me, as well. But I found out through others, after we split, went our separate ways, they were continually asking about me, like days, weeks, months, years after we went our separate ways. And I'm like, why they keep asking about me? Why? Because I have a kind heart. I mean, I ain't no pushover. You ain't gonna run no game on me like you think you might try to do. But I care for people. That's because I was raised up in church. That's why I was very close to my grandmother, because she was very religious. And to this day, I miss her. But I know she's around me. I know she's still close to me. And I used to watch her all the time, my grandmother. She was quiet. I'm quiet. I got a lot of my traits from my grandmother. Like I said, my mom came later in my life. She was going through some things, but she came later. But my grandmother had already had the blueprint raising me, or should I say, I had the blueprint of my grandmother also. Her way of raising me and disciplining me with her husband. But like I said, the most beautiful women that you see on TV, every time you turn your TV on, a lot of them, they hollow on the inside. Yeah, they look good with all the makeup on and got the nice bodies, the big chest, the tiny waist, the big booty, big legs, pretty feet, all that. Who wouldn't want a woman like that? Every man would want somebody like that. But the problem is, a lot of them, their heart is evil, wicked, despicable, negative. Thinking they better than you because they look good. And thinking they better than other women because they look better than them. And all the other guys are hollering and shouting out for them instead of the other woman that gets always overlooked. And it's the same way with men. There are some handsome men out here. Tall, short, fat, skinny, light skin, dark skin, white, black, Asian, Indian, Spanish, or whatever culture I haven't mentioned, or ethnicity. All I'm saying is a lot of people always overlook the not so attractive ones because they feel they don't have nothing going on versus what the other person does. But see, you don't know that. And don't judge a book by its cover until you read what's inside of the book. Or they willing to sit down and talk to you and conversate with you about this and that and that and this. You know what I mean? Never judge a book by its cover because you don't know what the contents or what's inside of that book. That can really shock and amaze you. I've been there. I know. I've judged people. I ain't no perfect person. Never will be. Only Jesus Christ is perfect. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm just saying that we all do that. We all have to do that, and some of us still continue to do that. It's wrong to judge somebody because they don't look as good as this other woman over here or this other man over here. And I found through experience myself and friends of friends of friends that have married a not so attractive woman to a very handsome man or to a very beautiful woman. I mean, there's beautiful women that always seem to marry the not so attractive men. I'm noticing that a lot. But then there's a percentage of beautiful women that marry on the same level as themselves. They want somebody attractive because they are, which is fine too. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But the problem is when you're looking down on other people because you think you better than everybody and you're not, you know why you're not? Because God created everybody equal. He didn't create a pretty woman better than a not so pretty woman. He didn't create a handsome man that's better than a not so handsome man. Everybody's created equal. And the reason for that is, I think, what I just said. God got beauty in all shapes and sizes and colors, ethnicities of people, male and female. Even the ones that are crippled, even the ones that are blind, deaf. I ain't gonna call them dumb because I just call them blind and deaf. They're not dumb. There's a lot of people that are very intelligent, women and men, that are very talented. They can't see, but God is guiding them. They good artists, you know. They got a lot of skills that the average person wouldn't be able to handle if that happened to them. You see what I'm saying? You're not better than anybody. And I'm talking to whoever's listening to this video, whether it's my friends out there on the internet, in the internet world. I mean, nobody is exempt from thinking they're better than somebody else just because maybe they didn't go through a lot of stuff that other people have. You know what I mean? And just because you put on a nice outfit, you men, you put a nice suit on, you women, you put a nice dress on, whether it's long, whether it's mini skirt, whether it's medium, way, down. That don't make you better than somebody else that's not so attractive. Because you know why? Most of the time, people that are like that, dressed that like that, I ain't gonna say every single person, it's a certain percentage, but I've been around people like that. They hollow on the inside. Number one, they don't have the Lord in them. Number two, they lost. What can you offer me other than your looks? But guess what? The curse is this. You're aging every second. By the time you get, say, an 18-year-old girl is gorgeous. She's a top model. She's this, she's that. Say a man is on that same level. But time is against you. No matter what you try to do, you Botox and all these facial creams and even exercises and all this stuff, it helps for a while. But eventually you're going to get wrinkles. You know, eventually your looks is going to fade. And there's nothing you can do about it. You're paying all this money because you're rich to get all these cosmetic surgeries on your body, on your face, your body. Some of that stuff will kill you. Some of that stuff will disfigure you for life. And there's people that's all over the internet that done that. There's people that's out in the world today that done that, and they wish they hadn't done it because they thought they was the thing. They thought they was the shit. They thought that they were better than everybody else. They were hollow on the inside. Some changed their ways, but they still living with that disfigurement that they did. Some come to Christ, some don't. And they look worse than they did before they even had all that cosmetic surgery done. These women out here getting all these big breast implants in their chest. Do you know all that stuff's close to your heart? And do you know that stuff, if you don't get to a doctor or surgeon in time, if you're having problems, you might not be here. It might mess you up in some other kind of way, mentally or physically. Everybody's trying to outdo everybody else, and a lot of people are jealous of people that have a perfect figure, a perfect shape. Look, God made you different from everybody else. Your blueprint ain't everybody else's blueprint. You know, I had a problem growing up because everybody in my family's tall except for my grandmother, so I took my genes from her. But my mom was 6'2", 6'1", around in there. My older sisters, 6 feet. Everybody in my family is tall, except for me. And I'm the oldest out of the kids. I had a complex about that. You know? I mean, I like tall women because of my mom. I've dated I ain't gonna say I dated a lot, but I've dated a handful. You know? Other women wouldn't date me because they tall. But that don't mean if we had kids, that the kids wouldn't be tall. It depends on the genes and the family tree on both sides of us, if that ever happened. But getting back to what I'm saying, a not so pretty girl is much more rewarding, at least to me, to be around and get to know better than an arrogant pretty girl, because she don't got nothing to offer me as far as conversation. Only thing she got to offer me is all about her. All about self. Me, I. Gimme. My name is Jimmy or Kimmy. No, that's not the kind of woman I like. Don't think I wouldn't want to have sex with her, of course. But then I got to worry about what if she got something sexually that would give me a disease? Because a woman like that, they got all kind of men. You think they ain't having a lot of sex with a lot of different guys that are, or they are attracted to, and the men are attracted to them? But the not so pretty girls always are kicked to the curb or left by the wayside because they ain't attractive physically. But they got a more beautiful heart. Even the men, their heart is way more better than what they look like on the outside versus what they are on the inside. And they're willing to go out of their way to help you. And a lot of them bend over backwards because they want to be with you. They like you. They want to know more about you. They want to be affectionate with you. You know what I'm saying? And they usually are the ones that are the best marriage partners. From my experiences and from talking to other people, as long as I've been on this planet, sharing knowledge back and forth and wisdom and things like that. Older people older than me, grandmothers, grandpas, great-grandmothers, great-grandpas, you know what I'm saying? In-laws, all that stuff. All that positivity, all that knowledge, all that conversations about this topic that I'm talking to you about. Nice, not so nice girls, to me, are the best friends that you could ever have. Because they ain't gonna lie to you about nothing. They gonna keep it real. Why they gotta lie? They ain't attractive. I'm not saying that that's the reason, but it's one of many. They know they can't compete with these women out here that you see on TV every day or you see out in life. If a man see a gorgeous woman, everybody gonna stop and look, even myself. If a man see a not so attractive woman, they're gonna do the same thing, but they're gonna keep going. They ain't gonna give them the time of day. Some will. I say about maybe one. I say 1 to maybe 10% would, depending. So that was on my mind. That's why I had to. And the reason why it was on my mind because I said I met somebody from my past, and she still got love for me. She gave me her phone number and everything. I'm gonna call her when I remember her name again. Because I forgot her name because I haven't seen her in so long. But I know what she looked like. We made love before, some years back when I was in her life and she was in mine. But she was going through stuff and so was I. But she still got love for some Chaz. You think a pretty girl would be like that if she saw me after a long time? Nope. She might speak, how you been, that kind of thing. But she ain't gonna give up her phone number to me. But she ain't gonna have that kind of love for me versus a not so pretty girl. Those are the ones I'm attracted to. But, I'm at the point in my life, I don't chase women no more. I used to. If I see a nice one, I might approach her, and try to see what's up, throw some fish out there, and see them fish and see what kind of conversation that I'm gonna get from her. I got ways of finding out things if a woman is with somebody. It's real simple. But yeah, you folks need to realize that. Some do, a lot don't care. It's all about me, me, me. Like I said, I. It's all about you. It shouldn't be all about you all the time. Because I've seen, and I'm going to tell you this, I've seen some ugly, and when I say ugly, not so handsome men at all, with gorgeous, drop-dead, beauty queen looking females. Black, white, Asian, Indian, Spanish, whatever culture that you can name. And then we all stop and think, damn, why is she with him? Well, I did digging. I already know why. Because he's willing to go out his way to please her. And she's done had problems with pretty men, or handsome men on her level, and they treated her like shit. They put her on a pedestal, but they was dogging her. You know, they was with her, but they wasn't with her. They was with other women on the same level she was on. That's why. But when she got a guy that's not so attractive, or a woman that's not so attractive, they did way more for her or him than the ones that were on the same level of him and her out there. Because for one, they had like for him and they had love for him. You see the difference? I'm not telling everybody go out here and get a not so attractive woman. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whatever God's will is. It's really not your will. It's God's will. You know, whatever will it is. It's not my will either. But my point is, a woman that's not so attractive is the most beautiful woman because her ways make her more beautiful than a woman that's just physically attractive and arrogant and got a big ego, stuck up. I'm all that. I'm on a level where nobody can touch me. I want the best of the best. Well, hey, who don't? But you'd be surprised, all the women that men pass up and all the guys that women pass up that really would like to get to know them and spend time with them and even be with them, those are the ones really that'll treat you the best for the rest of your life. But these pretty boys out here, they got all these girls' phone numbers and phone blowing up off the hook and got 2 phones with all these other numbers and hiding one and just using the main one when the pretty girl come around. And then when you find out, your heart gonna be broke. You're gonna be knocked off your feet like somebody hit you because you thought you was the shit. You thought you was it. You thought wasn't nobody gonna replace you. But you're wrong. Because I'm telling you, you're wrong. Even with the guys, same thing. I mean the women. Women do the same thing. They with you, they drain in your pockets, but they also in other people's pockets. Other men, they got another second phone somewhere, but they're using the main one when they're around you. You see what I'm saying? Don't waste your time on somebody that, excuse me, that's attractive, but don't really care about you. And then when you hear from other people certain negative things and harmful things they've said about you behind your back, and you with her, you gonna stay with somebody like that? It's gonna do you like that? No, I wouldn't. And the same with the men. You know, men do the same thing to women. But see, the problem is when you blow a blessing, somebody you, even if she's beautiful, there's humble women that are gorgeous and beautiful. But my point is, when you screw up and mess up and lose that one that was in your corner and you was cheating on her with all these other girls, you're going to lose her and you're going to lose him. You women out there that's doing it to the men. Some can reconcile, but most of them don't. And you're going to regret it for a long time. You are. I've done it. To this day, there's certain women I wish I had never done it to, like that, dogged them and stuff. But I got dogged too. People got this attitude, well, they dog me, so I'm going to go out here and dog every woman I can dog. I'm going to go out here and dog every man I can dog. The world don't work like that, man. Why you going to go out here and continually, or just go out here and deliberately hurt somebody because you got hurt. You playing with people's hearts and feelings. You know, that comes back all the time the wrong way, and it hurts you. So all I'm saying is, if I had a choice between a not so pretty girl and a pretty girl or a gorgeous woman, 9 times out of 10, I would want the gorgeous woman, of course. We all would. Or the gorgeous man or handsome man, of course. But the problem is, that's only temporary most of the time. Because they only there temporarily. Because they ain't really what you really want deep down. Especially when you start spending time with them. I would rather have a woman that's not so attractive and she could love me unconditionally and would. And if I was with her like when I was a teenager, then I haven't seen her for 20, 30 years down the line, and I run into her in a store somewhere, don't you think that bond is still there? That love for one another, that friendship for one another is still there. And it stick with you forever. But a person, you never forget a good person that do things for you, and you never forget somebody who dogged you. I've been on both sides of the track. You know, I've dogged people. I've got hurt when I was trying to be and do the right thing. You know, it hurts either way it go. But it hurts more when you find a special one, you dog them, and then they put up with it for so long and then they gone. Ain't nothing you gonna be able to do to get them back. Only if God step in and say, if this is His will for you and them to be together, that's the only way. But outside of that, and then when they do that, dog you like that, and they go out here and think they can find something better than you, and maybe they can. Some do, but a lot of them can't. A lot of them will always come back, you know, and say, hey, well, I met some guy, he remind me of you, and, you know, the way you look, the way you laugh, the way you talk, the way you cry, you know, hey, I ain't scared to cry. I got feelings. My heart get heavy, you gonna see some tears. That don't make me weak. That don't make me soft. That don't make me a sissy because I'm crying. I'm crying because I'm hurting for whatever it may be. And you guys you need to be getting in tune with your feelings, man. Stop trying to be macho all the time. You know, you all this and you all that, like you Tarzan in the jungle, banging on your chest, swinging through the trees. It ain't that kind of party, bro. You can do it for so long. But then, as you get older, you can't be swinging through the trees and banging on your chest. You know? Because a lot of good women is out here, but you doing